trap. Leah's footsteps splashed in puddles as she pressed forward, chest tight, clutching a small envelope like her life depended on it. Her heart raced violently, each beat scorching her lungs, and the chill of the storm cut through her soaked clothes. She didn't even consider the possibility of someone following her until the sound came, heavy, measured footsteps behind her. She spun, but the street was empty. A shiver ran down her spine. She exhaled sharply and pushed on. The footsteps came again, closer this time, echoing in the hollow silence of the night. Suddenly, a strong hand seized her from behind, yanking her into a dark alley. Her body shook uncontrollably, rain plastering her hair to her face. Panic clawed at her chest. A low, urgent whisper cut through the storm. "Quiet, or you won't make it." A flashlight beam slashed across the shadows, revealing the silhouettes of two more men advancing. "The envelope," one hissed. "She has it." Leah froze. She had only just picked it up, not even knowing what it held. Before she could react, a gunshot cracked the air. The man behind her crumpled, blood spattering the alley wall, sharp metallic scent choking the rain-soaked night. Leah screamed. Another man collapsed, motionless. Only one remained, the man clutching the envelope. But heavy footsteps approached from the darkness, deliberate and unstoppable. From the shadows, Nicola emerged. The long black coat clung to his powerful, athletic frame. His eyes were cold, merciless. Rain streaked over his short hair, every droplet sliding off his defined muscles. His presence alone demanded fear. An unbearable silence fell. The wounded man trembled, voice breaking. "Please, I didn't mean I just..." A second gunshot rang out. Silence. Leah's legs refused to move. Her chest heaved, rain mixing with the tears on her cheeks. Nicola stepped forward, slow, controlled, each footfall a warning. She could hear her own heartbeat pounding in her ears. "Where did you get the envelope?" Every shadow, every raindrop, every heartbeat in the alley screamed danger. The storm wasn't just outside, they were trapped inside it too. Leah's voice trembled. I found it. I didn't know, I swear." Nicholas stepped closer, his piercing gaze locking onto her. "If you lie, you die right here." Tears welled in Leah's eyes. "I just picked it up by mistake." Nicola paused, then opened the envelope. Inside was a photo, a girl slightly older than Leah, with eyes that could pierce the soul. On the back, a note read, "If you find this, protect her." Leah whispered in disbelief, This isn't me, but why does she look like me?" Nicola's eyes darkened. "Because she's your lost sister." The ground seemed to fall away beneath Leah. I don't have a sister." Nicola tilted his head slightly, his voice calm yet laced with threat. "Your real father hid everything from you, and now, the mafia killed her. The only thing left is this photo." The rain intensified. Leah drew in a sharp breath, her body shaking from cold and fear. Nicola took her hand, leading her toward an old, abandoned building. The storm outside roared, lightning flickering shadows across the crumbling walls. Inside, the room was filled with photographs, files, and cryptic maps. Leah recoiled, her heart hammering, body still trembling with adrenaline. Rain-soaked hair clung to her shoulders, droplets sliding down her chin. What is all this?" she asked, her voice quivering. Nicola stepped closer. His towering, powerful frame filled the space, broad shoulders and sculpted muscles visible beneath the black coat. Rain slid down his coat and arms, and his gaze cut into her like a blade, sending a shiver through her spine. Every step he took brought him nearer, the air between them crackling with tension. Leah's pulse raced, the room shrinking until it was just the two of them. Heartbeats, whispered breaths, and the storm raging outside. The truths you were never meant to know. Now everything will become clear. A heavy silence hung in the room. Nicola stepped closer, each movement deliberate, each breath audible to Leah. Her chest heaved, heart hammering as his shadow fell over her. The storm outside cast flickering reflections on the damp walls. Your father fought the mafia. He carried secrets and enemies. But when you saved me, everything changed. And now, you are at the center of this game. Suddenly, a piercing alarm blared, and Leah pressed herself against the wall, shivering as adrenaline coursed through her. Nicola moved swiftly, gathering the photos and files. He bent, his lithe, powerful frame highlighted in the dim light. Rain had soaked her hair and clothes, clinging to her form, and the subtle outline of her body caught his attention, sharp awareness flickering in his eyes before he masked it. Time is short, they found us. Who are they? Leah's voice trembled, but curiosity sparkled through the fear. Nicola's gaze locked onto hers, piercing and unyielding. The ones who killed your father, and now, they want you too. The distant rumble of an engine vibrated through the floor. Leah's breath caught. Nicola's hand, strong and wet from the storm, landed on her shoulder. It was firm, grounding, yet the closeness sent a shiver through her. Police? No, they lie. The only one you can trust is me. Her hand found his, covering it, and a fleeting warmth spread through her. Fear still coursed through her, but the contact steadied her trembling. With precision, Nicola guided her to the hidden underground tunnel. Darkness and moisture enveloped them, yet a fragile sense of security grew with each step. His confident, measured strides, the brush of his breath against her neck, the damp closeness of his body, every motion radiated intensity. If we make it through, you'll reach a place where the truth, all of it, can finally be understood. Leah's gaze clung to him, wide and glistening with rain and tears. The truth? Everything? A faint, dangerous smile touched Nicola's lips, his eyes still sharp, calculating. Yes, all of it, but prepare yourself. The truth is never beautiful. Suddenly, heavy footsteps echoed behind them. Nicola pressed Leah against a hidden wall, his muscles taut and defined under the dim light, eyes cutting through the shadows. Two figures emerged, black-clad, masked, faces merciless. We found her. Hand her over, one demanded. Nicola's stance was immovable, his gaze sharp enough to slice through them. She belongs to me, and if you come any closer, it ends here. Leah gripped the envelope and notebook. Hands trembling, breath quick. Her soaked clothes clung to her curves, the rain highlighting the subtle lines of her body. Nicola's glance flickered, a controlled yet undeniable acknowledgement of her form, before his focus returned to the danger ahead. A small explosion echoed deeper in the tunnel. The masked men flinched, heads snapping toward the noise. The brief distraction was all Nicola needed. His hand found hers, guiding her into the shadowed corridor, each heartbeat echoing like thunder. Every brush of his body, every tight grip, every wet glint of her rain-soaked clothes amplified the tension between them. The storm outside raged, yet within the tunnel, the heat of fear, desire, and urgency consumed them both, binding their fates together in the moment. They reached the hidden underground tunnel, a place where Leah's father had stashed letters and clues. The rain had eased, but the city streets outside were still slick and cold. Leah's wet hands slid along the walls as she hurried forward, her long wavy hair plastered to her neck. Her green eyes sparkled with a mix of fear and curiosity, reflecting every shadow in the tunnel. Finally, they arrived at the building Nicola had promised would be a safe haven. Inside, a room awaited them, walls lined with maps, files, and mysterious photographs. Leah drew a shaky breath. "So this is safe?" she asked. Nicola exhaled, calm yet alert. "For now, yes." A soft knock echoed from the door behind them. Leah jumped, but Nicola's hand landed on hers in a steadying grip. "Don't be afraid, we're just checking." He opened the door, and a flickering torch revealed writing scrawled on the wall. "If you want to know the truth, follow your path. But beware, not everything is a game. Leah's eyes met his. Follow the path? Where? Nicola's gaze sharpened. Where your father hid his secrets. But reaching it won't be easy or safe. He opened the notebook, revealing a page she had never seen before. A code, a map, and a string of numbers hinting at a much larger network behind her father's death. Leah's breath caught. The danger wasn't just about saving her. It was about uncovering a family secret, a power that had been hidden for years. It's all too fast. I can't keep up, she admitted, panic threading through her voice. Nicola stepped closer, calm and deliberate. His tall frame, muscles defined beneath his black coat, radiated control. Relax. I know it's overwhelming. Let's take a moment. I'll explain everything. She looked up at him, still trembling. Start by telling me your name. He tilted his head slightly, voice soft but steady. I am Nicola. Leah felt a strange mixture of fear and reassurance in the sound of his name, the heat of his presence mingling with the damp chill clinging to her soaked clothes. Every step he took toward her carried gravity and intensity, and for a moment the storm outside seemed distant, leaving only the charged air between them. Leah paused for a moment, her voice soft. So, well, Nicola let out a small amused laugh. Well, what? A short, shy smile curved Leah's lips. Well, what should I call you? Nicola's eyes flicked around the room, thoughtful, but his voice remained gentle. No one has ever called me by a short name before. With a spark of boldness, Leah said, I'll call you Nick. A slow smile spread across his face. All right, I like that. He stepped a little closer, placing the notebook on the table with a calm, deliberate movement. The space between them shrank, and the warmth of Nicola's body, tall, broad-shouldered, pressed gently into the air around Leah, making her pulse quicken. He spoke quietly, each word measured. Days ago, your father saved my life, and that was the day Nicola gained meaning for me. Now, whenever you call me that, it reminds me of the day I swore to protect someone. The air inside the safe house was slightly warm, and the lingering mist from the rain clung to Leah's skin. Nicola peeled off his wet coat and tossed it onto a chair. The dark t-shirt underneath clung to his chest and arms, muscles defined, each line and shadow speaking of strength and control. Leah's gaze flickered, but for a few seconds, her green eyes betrayed the way they lingered. Nicola noticed, just for a moment, but said nothing. He stepped closer again, voice calm but commanding. From this moment, you need to learn to defend yourself. Her voice wavered, quiet. But I've never... Nicola closed the distance further. The warmth of his breath brushed against her cheeks, the space between them charged with intensity. I'm here, by your side. You're not alone. Leah only nodded, her fingers trembling slightly. Nicola took her hands in his. His were large, warm, and firm. Hers were smaller, delicate, yet full of fear. The first rule, control your fear. He placed a steady hand on her waist to help her balance. Her body moved involuntarily, not from fear, but from an unexpected warmth. Nicola's eyes flickered toward her lips for a heartbeat. Then he regained control. Focus. His voice was low, roughened slightly. Leah exhaled slowly. Nicola's hands shifted to her shoulders, guiding her through a simple defensive move. Every time their hands brushed during the training, a subtle spark seemed to race through her body. She tried again, but lost her balance and stumbled straight into his arms. Her chest pressed against him. Nicola wrapped his arm around her to steady her. Their breaths mingled. For a few seconds, neither spoke. Just a look. A long, dangerous, heated look. Leah, Nicola whispered. She struggled to draw a breath. Yes, you are far stronger than you realize. If Nicola had stepped back a moment later, perhaps there would have been no space left between them. The safe house was silent. Rain still hammered the metal roof, but the threat of pursuit was gone. A single lamp cast a soft glow across the table, shadows dancing gently on the walls. Nicola was scanning the documents. His tall silhouette under the dim yellow light looked twice as intimidating and twice as magnetic. Wet strands of hair clung to his forehead, veins standing out on his arms as he turned each page with quiet force. Leah sat down slowly, pulling her knees close, her eyes fixed on him. Seconds stretched, silent, heavy, until finally her trembling but steady voice broke the air. "Nick, what if—" She hesitated. "What if you're one of my father's enemies?" Nicola lifted his head. His eyes darkened, not from anger, but from the wound her words carved into him. "You know so much," she whispered. "More than I do. I just found out everything tonight. Maybe you're using me." Nicola stepped toward her, slow, measured. His shadow spilled across her face. In the tight, dim room, he looked impossibly larger, impossibly stronger. "Leah," his voice was low, deep, dangerous in how gentle it was. "If I wanted to hurt you, I had 100 chances tonight." He came closer, his hand lifted not to touch her, but to brace against the wall beside her head. The distance between them, barely a hand's width. "You don't trust me," he murmured. Leah held her breath. Nicola leaned in, eyes locked on hers with a magnetic intensity. "If you want to know who I am, ask. But don't ever think I was your father's enemy. I owed him more than a debt." Her voice was a whisper. "More? Like what?" For the first time his gaze softened. Not threatening, not guarded, human. He was the only person in my world of shadows who trusted me, without fear, without hesitation. His eyes flicked, just once to her lips. "And now his daughter sits here, wondering if I'm the enemy." Leah's cheeks warmed, her gaze dropping. "I'm just scared, but I trust you. In the end, I have to. If I don't, there are thousands out there who'll kill me. So if you were my father's enemy—" She swallowed. "I'd rather die in your hands." Nicola's chest rose sharply, not with anger, but something far deeper. He placed his hand on her shoulder. Warm, firm, unshakably steady. "You can be afraid," he said quietly. "But don't be afraid of me." Silence settled thick, electric. Not danger, not comfort. Something in between, something that pulled them closer, even when neither of them moved. Leah spoke softly. "Are we staying here tonight?" Nicola nodded once. "Yeah, this is the safest place in the entire city." He tossed a blanket onto the floor, dimmed the light, and set his gun within arm's reach. Only then did Leah finally exhale. "You know what scares me?" she whispered. "That everything happened so fast it feels like I turned into someone else. Someone cold, someone ruthless. A serial killer." Her voice cracked, though not a single tear fell. That resistance, that controlled fury, pulled Nicola in more than he wanted to admit. "I didn't shed not even a single drop of tears for my father." Her finger pressed hard against the table. "It's driving me insane, Nicola." Nicola took a sip of his drink, trying to look calm. His throat was anything but. He wasn't a man built for comforting anyone. But tonight, he had no choice but to swallow his silence. Leah continued, her voice trembling now. "I loved him, my father, so much. But I never said it, not once. He was always gone, always at war with something, with someone, always surrounded by danger." Her hands locked together as if holding herself in one piece. "All I ever wanted was one normal day with him, like other daughters. A simple breakfast, a walk, a stupid conversation. But it never happened. And now, it never will." She looked up. That look, direct, raw, hit Nicola like a punch. "And now it's you," she breathed. "You're what's left. His weight, his world. And I'm supposed to carry all of it, all of you." Nicola's jaw tightened. His heart kicked not from pity. No. From the dangerous mix of vulnerability and fire in her eyes. Something inside his chest pulled tight, slow, real. He forced his voice to stay steady. "You're still in shock, Leah. You don't know what you're saying." Leah let out a bitter, exhausted laugh. "Oh, I know exactly what I'm saying. Maybe too well." Silence. The kind that doesn't end on its own and doesn't let you breathe either. Nicola murmured, "Leah, you're not ruthless." His gaze slipped, just for a moment, down her neck. Then he snapped it back up. "You just did what you had to survive." Another moment of charged silence, a wire pulled tight between them, trembling with current. And then Leah exploded. She slammed her fist onto the table. The sound reverberated through the cabin. "Why? Why, Dad?" The scream tore out of a throat that had been silent for far too long. Her eyes welled with tears, but she didn't let them fall. Not yet. Her chin trembled. "Why were you never there? Why, never once say you loved me?" A second fist hit the table, harder this time. Nicola didn't flinch. He just watched. That stone-cold gaze, yet beneath it, something like a deep tremor stirred. Leah's voice grew louder, harsher. "Why does my life have to be like this? Why do I have to run from killers? Why am I here tonight? Why do I have to be so alone?" Her voice cracked. And now the tears spilled onto the table. She was panting. Her face flushed. Her hair clung wet to her forehead. Her body shook with raw emotion. Nicola didn't intervene, not yet. He let her rage out. Let everything she had swallowed for years rise to the surface. But suddenly, Leah's trembling hands pulled away from the table. She staggered back, her legs weak. And a moment later, she struck her own chest with a fist. Not hard, but Nicola could see the danger if she kept going. He reacted instantly. Firm, controlled, unyielding. Nicola stepped forward, 2 decisive strides, and before another strike could land, he caught her hands, locking them. Leah screamed, "Let me go, let me release it." Nicola's voice was calm, but deep and commanding. "Enough, Leah. Don't destroy yourself." She struggled, but his arms were steel. Stronger, harsher, more relentless than she expected, but entirely controlled, protective. And then Leah suddenly let all her weight go. The tears came in a flood. She collapsed, not to the floor, but into Nicola's arms. For a moment he froze. Her warmth, the tremor of her body, sent a shiver through him. But he didn't pull away. Slowly, controlled, keeping her close, hands still locked, holding her steady so she wouldn't fall. Her face pressed against Nicola's chest. Tears soaked his shirt, her hair clinging wet to his neck and shoulders. Nicola closed his eyes. His chest rose and fell, with feelings he had never admitted to himself. For the first time, Nicola let someone get this close. His hands were hot and firm, arms locked, holding her weight, absorbing every tremor. Time stretched. Tension, pain, warmth, all tangled together. Finally, Leah calmed. Her sobs slowed, though her heart still pounded. Nicola held her steady, calm, yet unyielding. Not just protection, empathy, sharing her pain. And Leah, still soaked with tears, felt something she hadn't in years. Someone this close, letting her release everything. She gathered her breath, wrapped her arms around him, locking herself to ensure she didn't fall. Her tear-streaked face nestled into him, hands pressing against his broad chest, seeking refuge in the strength beneath her. Her body still shook, short gasps filling the quiet cabin. Nicola inhaled deeply, but his heart wouldn't settle. Every shiver, every sob from Leah sent sudden waves of sensation through him. waves he buried behind a wall of control. His gaze lingered on her tear-streaked face, reading everything without blinking, the pain, the fear, the loneliness, and the quiet fury she had carried all these years. Every breath she took, every tremor of her body, pulled at him, an undeniable tension, a mix of instinctive protection and the sharp, electric pull of closeness. He held her shoulders and back firmly, controlled, anchoring her. Not just to keep her safe, but to imprint every fleeting emotion, every trembling heartbeat, even the ones he didn't want to admit existed. Leah's warmth against him, the closeness, it shattered his focus, forcing him to suppress every reaction, every emotion he couldn't yet claim. His gaze locked on her tear-streaked lips and cheeks, a fierce, suppressed fire igniting within him, a pull that existed only to keep her safe, even if it scorched his own heart.